Just be quiet, that's all. Ow, ow, my back. Oh, old timers. I'm gonna make my next video should say how the old timers feel. Who's conscious of that? This is how you end up, guys. All you young ones out there singing and praising, doing whatever you're doing, exploring, experimenting. What are you doing? You enjoying life? Well, sometimes you can enjoy life and at the same time learn a lesson. It's experimenting. That's what St. Augustine said. God was. It was a. It's just a metaphor story about, doing the will of God when He calls. And there was a great saint, Augustine or Augustine, one of those saints. Augustine, I think they're the same. I never prayed him as a novena or anything, but I use him as a lesson because God called him, and he was into the world 100%, just about almost. I mean, he must have been doing something for God to love him. Just existing, I guess. God loves us all till the day we die, and then He makes His mind up. He's going to let us go on it because the soul's eternal, and if He wants your soul to dwell with Him forever, that's a big decision. Have somebody come. So I made a decision when I was a teenager, getting married. I didn't know anything about what it took to be married. What am I now? 53 years, 54 years. And then I went 4.5 years before that. We were going steady. I was dating other girls too on the side. I didn't let everybody know. I was looking around. I don't know. I was a little horn toad. I didn't know I was experimenting. What am I gonna want? What are you gonna look for if you're gonna take and get married? Where is there somebody that I'm gonna look at for the rest of my life? And glad that they're around. Oh, no silly suggestive talk. I'm not going to do that. But just lay in the ground. Human being like everybody else. I was waiting for the right woman to come along. I prayed for her. I think I was around 15 years old. 14 or 15. It was that time that God called me off the street. All kinds of complications at my home. I was always kicked out of the house for some stupid reason. And back then it was that philosophy of spare the rod, you spoil the child. All of us baby boomers were brought up in that. Some of them fervently, and some of them a little bit moderately, and some of them not at all. I, as a school teacher, I see the discipline in families. I know when I teach their children, I can sense their family when I talk to their child or watch his behavior or her behavior. It comes from a disciplined family. And then you get these, hey, the world owes me a living. What do you think? Hey, I'm the handsomest guy in the school. All the women want me. Oh, All the girls want me. That type of attitude. Bosses his father around, pushes him around, bosses him around. Doesn't listen to anything either of them say. I don't know what his mother was like. Maybe he didn't have a mother. No. See, I don't know what happened. Then you walk in somebody's shoes. All I knew is that he was acting up in my class. And I ordered his father in. And I says, if you bring him in, I'll let you play tonight's game so he can watch it. And I was trying to get a relationship. Hey, that's my son out there. I'm proud, this and that. See how they would react. Some reacted positively and some didn't. They went and told the priest what I was doing and copped an attitude on me and nasty and everything because I was an American graduate from university, had all the recreational skills and all that stuff. I went to undergraduate school, teaching, physical education, and all that. In fact, I was hired as a director of physical education when I graduated from college. It's 1978. Boy, that was something else. Never, ever gave it a thought. The politics that are involved in being a physical education director in a Catholic school with a lot of families. I mean, we're talking a whole congregation of people here. Their kids, all their kids are going to the school and everything. And the nun senses you. She was the principal, sensed me out. And I was religious. The guy that was there, I don't think he was religious. He was an Englishman. I mean, he had poise and he had respectability and all that stuff. He was a man. But I don't think he was very religious. No, we don't know what his motivations were or anything like that. But the nun decided that, the principal decided that she was going to let me. I'm a degreed person, and that's what they are looking for. That's what the parish wants, is a degreed person in that position, not somebody off the street. That's what this guy was. He was off the street of England. And all they knew was England sports. Soccer, rugby. I mean, all kinds of stuff that the English and the European countries. And the community went right for it. Boy, they loved it. And that was the fire back then, too. The soccer stuff was coming in and all that, taking over everything. So here I am. I was brought up American way: baseball, football, basketball, and whatever individual sports other than that, tennis and stuff like that. I did it all. I played it all too. So I was right in it. I mean, I don't know. I didn't play much soccer. But anyways, and that's the sport nowadays. They just took over everything. Football's still hanging out in there. There's too many head injuries and stuff in football. Soccer is not as, and I mean, there's broken bones and sprained ankles and everything else that goes along with sports. But there isn't that head injury. It could be, though. You could run into somebody by mistake, really flatten yourself right out. But this community that I got the job in, they were all English. And no one asked me if I knew how to play soccer or not. Because I knew the rules and I knew how to lay out a field. I knew everything about soccer because it was in my college courses and stuff. Coursework I did. But I was going to determine I was going to have a good softball team. I wanted a softball team because I knew that all the other schools, grade schools, and I was in from grades 1 to 9, 1 to 9, ninth grade, somewhere around there. just about high school. And it was, they didn't have two second grades or two third grades because they had so many people. No, it was just enough. The system was taking care of itself. So I told the nun, my principal, I said, Sister, I would like to put a baseball diamond out there. Oh, yeah, it costs money and everything. I says, and I know how to do it, and I'm strong. I just, look at a load of dirt here and I'll make one. He's looking at me. Okay, go ahead. I ordered the load of dirt, brought it in, spread it all out. Had everything all ready. Nice baseball mound, the infield, everything, all the dirt, and clay, and everything was all right in the right spots, all the bases in the right spots, and everything. And I said, man, and everybody's looking at the schools. They could hardly wait to play us. They could hardly wait to come and play on our field and everything. They brought their kids over. In fact, when we weren't using it, they asked if they could use it with another team. That's how nice it was. But I did politics. I didn't have to think about politics. And I put that baseball diamond right smack in the center of the soccer field. And whoa! Oh, that's a lesson learned. They all adjusted. They were good. They were Christian people. They understood. Hey, we got to have some American baseball in here and stuff like that. And all the kids went for the softball. Oh, they could hardly wait to get on a softball team. And we did pretty good, too. So that was my experience with being a physical education teacher down in Florida. My first job. And there's a lot more to it because I was an archer. I put on archery exhibitions. For the people, busting balloons and, 30, 40, 50 yards away, right in the center of the target. Everybody's standing on the sides watching me. I got my bow. And that was before compound day. I didn't have a compound bow. I was an instinctive hunter. And I had it to where I had some sights put on the side of my bow, and I used it for like 10 yards, 30 yards, right around there. I wouldn't take a shot more than 30 yards. You're guessing after that, really, when you're an instinctive hunter. You got to be really right on the button at 40 yards and practicing it all the time. And I didn't want deer running around with an arrow sticking out of their butt because I missed, I was always 20 yards, I'm dead as a doornail. Right on, bam, right in the center. That's the way I was. And I held archery exhibitions doing that. So, the trade, I don't think this is negative, but the guy that I was taking the spot of, he came up with this soccer ball deal he was doing, and he invented this soccer ball on a rope, little teeny ball, and they were trying to market it, and he had to leave. He was glad that somebody came to take over because he had business he had to take care of. And he couldn't do it by being involved with a daily job. So he went and did his thing. I don't know. He came back later. Because I was there for about a year. And the politics. My wife and I had the folk group. We played the music for the parish. Folk group every Sunday. And the nuns, they used to let me get a bunch of kids together with a tambourine and a drum and stuff like that. And they'd have the first and second grade. We'd play a march song. Boom, 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 boom. And then I had the harmonica and I had the guitar. And sing, praise, sing, praise, sing, praise, sing, praise. Sing to the glory of the Lord. And all these little kids are marching around, that type of thing. So it was fun. I enjoyed it. But our family started getting sick, and my wife, she had a good job too. She would have took the place over. She was working for the university, Central Florida's, where they all the teachers and all the professors bring their children to the daycare, and my wife was one of the daycare takers there at college, going to college at the same time. But her internship would have been that daycare center. And I graduated. I got antsy pantsy. I didn't want to be around Florida anymore because there wasn't any money there. They were still almost minimum wage, $3.50 an hour. Heck, I was working construction for $4.50 an hour all day long in the hot sun. I mean, you were considered being paid a high wage if you got $6.50 an hour down there, and that's with nail guns. And half of them, half the people that were builders down there, they had sets of nail guns, but they were set aside for the ones that were the leaders of the carpenters that they hired. They might hire 10 carpenters to build a complex, but they had their favorites that were the leaders, and they judged where you would be good, or, oh, he'd be a good framer. Put him over there. He can be in that framing part. Let's put him as a framer. I was a good framer. I had a big 20-ounce hammer, and I could swing it, and I was muscular, and I was a go-getter. So they liked me. And then I got tired. I said, why don't I go to college? And graduate college, I'm working construction. I didn't have to go through all that. I could have worked construction. I said, I don't know. There wasn't any money down there. They were all minimum wage people. I mean, $4.50 an hour, $6.50 an hour. Yeah, can't survive down there. Just pay rent, food, and you're waiting for your next paycheck so you can do it all over again. Never get ahead, can't save nothing. When you're down there like that, you got to have something that's making some money for you, or you're just going to be a renter. Unless you decide you're going to stay and go to the bank, get yourself a house. I wouldn't have any problem doing that. My wife and I were both degree people. We could have got good jobs. But anyways, Florida was just too sticky, hotty. I was an environmentalist, and I learned about Florida inside and out, just about. Florida's an aquifer. An aquifer means that it permeated by the ocean or by the groundwaters and all that stuff. When the rain falls down, it sinks right down through the sand and everything. It's a natural aquifer. It cleans all them swamps down there. They drain down through. There's a lot of clean water down underneath there. There's underground deposits down there. But what's happening is a 5-mile square area, say, 100,000 people come in and build houses and trailers and trailer parks and everything, and everybody's drilling down in, sucking the water out of the ground. There's no more water. It's all well water. And all of a sudden, one day, they turn on the water and they make their cup of coffee and they go down and they sit down and they take a sip and what the heck's that? What happened here? Who did something to the coffee pot? Who's fooling around? If you got kids, you're blaming the kids or something before you realize you're drinking salt water because saltwater flush is what they call it. You got the ocean and you got the land, and then you got your water level that's right in there. Well, as soon as that water level gets down below the ocean level, sea level, and it gets down below it, It sucks in like a sponge. It lets the salt water come in, and look what happens. And it's right on top now of your fresh water supply, and it mixes in, and you get what they call brackish saltwater, brackish water. It destroys the water system unless you have a reverse osmosis unit or something like that, or a water filtration system, high quality one. You can beat it, but you can't have well water anymore. And the other thing was is there were so many septic systems. You put a house up, you got to have a septic and a well. And they didn't have septic systems like they do now in the 2000, what, 20 now. We just had ours in the beginning of the 2000s. We were all septic and well right here before that. We had city water. I'm sorry, we had city because we're a natural aquifer up here too, but it's all spring water. Got purest water almost in the world right around here. They're blessed to have that. But anyways, get back to Florida. I noticed things about it. I'm saying, what's going on down here? One day I'm on my bicycle, off in it, get some exercise. And I noticed here comes this dump truck, septic dump truck. And it's coming down the road and it slows down, right? And I pull over to the side, I'm watching it slow down, and it slowly turns into the orange grove. And I says, what's going on? So I got on my bike. I go in there and I'm looking. They're dumping their septic in the orange groves. And we're buying it and eating that stuff. Ah, man. I caught him doing it. I'm not saying that everybody's doing it and it's not happening all over the place, but I saw it in that one area. It was Clearwater, Florida area. I saw that happen. Oranges coming out of that area. I saw it happen. I was a college kid. I was aware of. I was the guy who did the first research on the Tarpon Springs nuclear power plant. I was in charge of that. I did it as college credits. I got an A for the course. Dr. Sims gave me an A, and then scolded me. He says, "Why didn't you call me? I would have loved to have been a part of this." I had it all documented. I had 100-foot seine that I took all out into the bay and swept it. Brought all the fish in, named them all, how many we got and everything, what was abundant. And I tossed pebbles and dove down, took a yardstick, measured out 1 square yard of grass, brought it up, bagged it, brought it in, weighed it. Just the environment, what was there, what the plants, took a lot of pictures. What was in that bay before the nuclear power plant was in full bloom. I think it was on, but it wasn't really pushing out like it is now. It has to be pushing out because all these people are moving down. And last thing I heard was 750 people moving into Florida a week. Not a month, a week. That's a lot of people. I don't know what the mortality rate is, but I know the life expectancy down there, if you retire 5 years, I mean, you're leaving everything that you have and you're going living into an environment you really don't know too much about. All you know is it's warmer, but it's really warmer in the summertime. Wow. You get bear caught, what they call bear caught in Florida. The roofers don't even work in Florida. Between the hours of, I think it's 11 and 2, they stay off the roofs. Well, some don't. They get bear caught, what they call bear caught. They get dizzy, they pass out, or off the roof because it's so dang hot. So you think you got to give up a little? Up here, you got 4 seasons. You got to adjust to the weather a little bit. And this and that. I'm in tune with that. I like that. That's me. I don't want to ever leave something like that. I look forward to the spring and the summer. The spring is trout season. The summer is bass season. The fall is hunting season and gathering. You know, you go out apple orchards, get big bags of apples and blueberry picking and strawberry picking in the springtime. You know, I like seasonal stuff like that. That's why I like it up here. Look at me, I'm a rag doll. I just noticed that. What am I worried about? Hey, all you women out there. Look at me. Ain't I handsome? No. Silly suggested talk now. I'm trying to be serious here. But this isn't, I'm not talking religiously right now. Okay, so I can be funny if I want, off and on. But I make a statement that if I do talk about God in any way, I have to turn 100% serious. And I don't joke around when I talk about how I'm living my life and my faith in God. And a lot of stuff you'll never hear because it's between him and I. You can reach a level, I'm telling you people, you can reach a level that God talks to your heart. You can reach that level. You got to clear your path. Go to confession, go to communion, go to confession, go to communion, go to confession, go to communion. You fall down, get back up. Saints are sinners that keep on trying. You keep right on trying. Get into the rhythm of it, man. I can do this, man. I'm a musician, see, I get into the rhythm of things. Listen to this. Now, does that sound like a guitar to you? Not a normal one. A normal 6-string guitar. This is a 12-string. This is an art to playing one of these. I'm not an accomplished artist on one of these. I'm an amateur. But if somebody were serious, they could really put a hurting on everybody with learning how to play one of these. Because you don't bash them and pound on them. Some people can. I mean, there's some guys that can get a nice little groove going and do that. They're talented enough with their harmonica and they get ready. And I do something. I don't know. Maybe I'll show you. But on my other films, if you look at my other films, I'm working on this one song, my Fatima song. I call it my Fatima song. What's the message of Fatima? We all know what the message was. We all heard the miracle, the sun dancing in the sky and almost crashing into the earth, and everybody was dry after being sopping wet by rain, and so on and so on, and every little people are healed, and blah, 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 blah. That's all we heard. It's faded out. There were 70,000 people that saw that stuff happen, and they're all dead, almost. The children that were involved in it, they died out. Now it's just word, the word. Oh, this is what happened. Oh, all these people came and have pictures and everything. They even have the pictures of the children that Blessed Mother appeared to. Pictures. Iconic symbols of That's what I have my life as. I live in an iconic vision. I have what they had before the Bible. I have pictures of holy pictures of different saints, angels, life situations, the Last Supper, things like that. I have all those iconic visions. And that's what they used back beginning ancient days. They had pictures that inspired them to pray to God, lift their hearts to Him. I mean, that's the purest prayer, the beginning prayer to God when He was here, and everybody was just into it. And when he played his life, he resonated. After he left it was still vibrating through society, and to this day it is. And that's the way you have to play a 12-string guitar. You can't pound on it. You gotta brush it. Now I might have to end the tape here because I don't know how. I'm not going to take the time. It's pretty involved. Tuning one of these things, you just can't beep, beep, bump, bump. It's all done, You got to have a meter. You got to tune each string. And they're octaves. And then the last two are the same. Now you can pound them, or you can brush them. Isn't that beautiful? That's a 12-string guitar. People get confused. They can't tune them. You can't tune them by your ear and all that stuff. You can get them close, but you got to be right on with the meter. Make sure those each string is on. A440, I do mine. Now I have a lot of ditties that I used to know way back then. Right now I've got dexterity problems because I haven't played in a long time, probably over 20 years. And I hung them up when I was about 50 years old. I had a bad experience. I playing them 30 years. I played 30 years in a folk group. I got involved in this one church, and they didn't have a organ player. She quit or moved on, got another job or something. Well, they were without organ player, and the only one there that did the masses was my wife and I with our folk group. So we were doing all the masses. We were good enough to do all the masses. And then this one guy came to get the job. And he knew Father. He was a pianist. Father, the priest I had was a concert pianist. Oh, he was great on the piano. And this organ player, I don't know where he met him or what, but he was going to do the masses and all that stuff. Oh, we started out, okay, we're doing 12 and okay, well, the organ player's going to come, but he's going to be in charge now from what the instructions were from the priest. And we agreed. We didn't care. But then he got in there and he expected, since all the work we've been doing for 30 years, they were expecting some disciplined people, and all we were is by the ear. I heard it, I practiced it, and I played it. And it was pretty close. I did all my harmonies. My wife, she was the backbone of it all. She was the discipline. I gotta get the beat. Now, come on, everybody, get together now. Quit talking. Let's do this. That's my wife. And I'm over there doing my little ditties. I'm off in another dimension. When the rhythm starts, I'm going to be doing my little thing too. So, I'm disciplined, just enjoying just every day, just praising God, and hundreds of songs. I've forgotten a lot of songs, but when I hear them, the Spirit digs them up, and I can sing right along with them. In Mass, people say, "What?" Next to me and all that stuff. They notice me singing without a book. I'm right with everybody. I know the refrains. I know the verses. I've been doing it for 30 years. They're the same songs. But now, instead of being a tenor, I'm more of a bass voice. Create in me a clean heart, O God. Let me be like you in all your ways. Give me your strength. Teach me your song. Oh, shelter me on the shadow of your wings. For you are righteousness. Acapella. Why am I doing an acapella when I got a nice guitar here? Let's see if I can do those same words. No, I'll do St. Francis. St. Francis wrote a nice little poem. I don't think everybody's ever heard it. Since God is love, I'll sing His song. With God above, I will be strong. With God within, what else need I? Well, God shall reign. Can the soul die? Hallelujah, hallelujah, praise God. Hallelujah, hallelujah, praise God. Hallelujah, my Father, forgive me of your Son, sending Him into the world to be given for man, knowing we would bruise Him and smite Him from the earth. Hallelujah, my Father in His death. Oh, It's getting there. I still gotta have the harmonica piece going in there. That song is gonna be beautiful when I get that harmonica piece in there. I'm going to school right now. I'm trying to get into the school. They won't let me in. I don't know why. They're declining my card. I got this one school I want to get into. It's in Portugal, Spain. I know there's a lot of people in it because they say they have 2,000 students in the world. And it costs about $180, $190, somewhere around there initially for 2 years. Now that ain't bad, and you get their module. I haven't experienced that yet. You can increase the speed of the song and decrease it. It's all notated with the harmonica. All notated. You can make it slow down so you can stay with it. In, exhale, inhale, exhale, all these other notes and everything. And then you get the rhythm and you go, hoo, 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 hoo. You fool around with it. I got one. Where is it? Where's mine? Oh. I don't know. Maybe I can do something unrehearsed. All right. But what I gotta find is where is the holder? I gotta find the holder. Okay, where are you little Dickens? Where's the holders? Okay. Huh. Not gonna be a possibility here. What's going on? Where are you holding? Oh, there you are. You're trying to hide on me. Get out of here. It didn't want to perform as hiding at me. I sense I might be in trouble. This is rehearsed. Like the song I just played, it's not rehearsed either. In fact, that was the first time I've ever played that song like that. Ever. I just had pieces here, pieces there, pieces there, and I decided I was going to put it together. But I still got the harmonica piece. Oh, here we go. Now, the whole trick, I'm putting it all together here. Oh boy, I gotta go this way. It got loose. Loose as a goose. I'm twisting this like this. I remember if I would have only did this on the scaffolding I put up when I built my addition, I wouldn't have felt story and a half. Broke my back just about. I had a bruise on my back side by not screwing down and making them tight. Extensions for my scaffolding. I built the addition by myself. I do everything myself. I did it all myself. Scratch. The house I'm sitting in right now, I got the idea when I was 38 years old. I was a school teacher, certified New York State certified school teacher, worked with a handicapped, learning disabled, juvenile delinquent, adjudicated offenders. I've been kicked in the shins more times. Oh, good God. Ow! Can't do nothing about it either. You can't even pretend like you're, you can't even pretend that stuff because they take, oh, you're beating the kid up. I used to get them, because they were husky, juveniles, husky, rough kids. Get around, move around, let them know where you are. Got a heavy bag in there, and let them hit the heavy bag. Let them watch you hit the heavy bag. That's the way you gotta fit into the environment. That's what I did. I used to be a fighter before I became a teacher. It's a long story. Got in my corner. I won the Golden Gloves. God was in my corner, and they did a newspaper article on it. Never followed up on it. Here it is now, over 50 years later. How did I end up? What happened to the guy in my corner? What happened? Let us know what happened. Well, you were 20 years old, just won the Golden Gloves, and you made the statement the guy was in your corner. Well, why didn't you become professional? What happened? Because God was in my corner, and this isn't what he wanted. Now you got story after story after story to tell you how he worked in my life. So, right now I'm just the cream of the crop now. I'm like that bottle of milk we used to put out in the olden days on the back porch. You hit the bottle of milk, and there was about that much cream on the top, and the rest was just no cream in it, milk. You had to take that bottle and shake it really good. Put it on your cereal, your oatmeal, or whatever you got. Hardly wait for the milkman to come in. All right, get that milk. It's like getting ice cream or something, You put it on your cereal and all that. Put the sugar on it. I'm ready. Bring it on, school. But anyways, the way you looked at things back then, I was just a kid, third grade. Some of the old ladies on the street flagged me down before winter came along and said, hey, when you see it snowing out here, knock on my door, and I'd like to have you brush my walk off and stuff for me. I'll give you so much. Oh, good. So I had a little thing going there. Quarter. I went out there and shoveled the whole thing for a quarter. I used to pick weeds for a quarter, too. Quarter an hour. I used to mow grass with a push mower. And you had to keep those blades sharp because there was these big, long, dangly things that always stood up in the middle of the yard after you took and cut it down. You had these big, long, dangly things that didn't cut. They just rolled with the punches. You go back and get them, and by the time you're done, you say, whew, you're sweating like a dog. You gotta go home and take a shower. And she hands you a quarter. That's what really gets me nowadays when I think about it. But back then, wow, quarter. Heck, you can go out and buy a popsicle, a kite, and half change left over after you found 12 or what was it, 22 cents I found on the curb. I was walking down on the curb. I saw a dime and there was 2 pennies. I know, 2 dimes and 2 pennies. But now I picked them up. Went to the store. I got myself a popsicle, a kite. I had string, so I just got a kite. I think it was a dime or something like that. And I had change for penny candy. I was a happy dude. I just ran into a treasure. Look at that, 22 cents. Nowadays, if it was $22, they might stoop, pick it up. I don't think anybody stoops and picks up a nickel or a dime or a penny anymore like used to. And you can buy a Tootsie Roll for a penny. Chop on that for half an hour or so. That's what I used to do. I'm looking way back now. I remember, what else sticks out in my mind? Oh, fishing. I did a lot of fishing when I was a teenager, preteens. I used to love the river. I go down there and catch big carp. Once in a while, I catch a pretty good game fish too. Fish with night walkers, and if I had, once I was taught how to get dobson, that was the bait of the choice. They're little, they look like caterpillars about that long, and they got pinchers on the end. They grab right on you, and they really get right into you too. But they're only about that long. But the bass, if there's bass in the area, they can smell them. They come right, they'll bam. They don't question what's this. Bam, they hit them. I pull them bass out of the water, and the dobson would be up the string because I put the hook down through its back. They would hit that thing so hard it would knock the dobson up the string, and I had them hooked, with a hook. But the dobson would be, that far away from them. That's how hard they hit them. They didn't fool around. They loved them dobson. And then some people fish with crab. You can get some bass and stuff on crab too. You can keep them from getting underneath the rocks. Lose all your hooks that way. Same thing with dobson. You gotta hook them just right and let them throw them out and let them float down with everything. Just so they're free and floating. And wham! I caught him. I had last time it was out. It was a friend of mine named Sam, and we both went and we killed him. I couldn't stop catching them on the dobson. So, and we caught some big ones too. I mean, we're not talking little teeny ones. We're talking about they were a good 3-pounders. I got pictures of them. And I got them posted on my Facebook page years and years ago. They're in there somewhere. I just got back into Facebook today. First time. I don't know what I did. I did something that let me back in. Oh, I gotta check it all out. It will come out in a wash, I did call up my service providers and had them do some work. They do it. They can take control and come right in and do it. And I have been having less problems. I just got a T-Mobile. Now I'm on T-Mobile, and I'm got their Wi-Fi internet connection now. I got it hooked up. My TV's hooked up to it. The only problem I've been having is I have Dish because I got rid of cable. There's a whole big thing about what I went through, and I'm not going to take and do that. But I got the Dish come in here, and they had their little panel they put in, and they got a piggyback that goes on top of it. It's the hopper, and then there's the, jack something, or jackknife. It's a little unit that goes on top of that. And I've been getting good reception. I'm impressed. I've been flying over the world with my 68-inch, 65-inch screen. You turn that on and just... let's see. Yesterday I went to Portugal because I'm getting back into my song. That was the Phantom song I just sang. And there's a harmonica, and there's a couple other verses that I gotta get in there too, because the message of Fatima is forgiveness. Catholic Church has opened the door to forgiveness. And they didn't designate for Catholics only. I didn't hear them say Catholics only. I'm a Catholic. I mean, it's assumed maybe it's for Catholics only, but I didn't hear them say that. I just heard them made a decree because of COVID and availability of priests and being able to get into churches, that they have made it so you can make a spiritual confession and a spiritual communion, especially for the elderly. Finally, elderly friendly. Somebody, the church come through. Well, they want us there ever so often. Until the next time you can get to church, that's what they added on. They said, the next time you get to church, though, you got to go to church, go to confession and stuff. And I was thinking to myself, this isn't what the church says. This isn't what the magisterium says. It's just my daydreaming. So I'm not saying that this is valid or not. Somebody would have to make a comment on that, maybe in a speech or something. I've been listening to this Father Chris Allar with the Marians, which I've become a Marian. And my wife and I just received a plaque, a blessing plaque, that I'm involved in all these novenas and masses and everything, and I'm on the list as a Marian helper. I'm being prayed for. What the church binds on earth is bound in heaven. And the church says you can make a spiritual confession and a spiritual communion, and that's what I've been doing. I've been making a spirit. I'm in a wheelchair. I can push it. If I want to scream and holler and really suffer, I can get out there and get the mass. But I'm gonna do that. And then I just say, I just can't. I get up, my back is killing me, God. I gotta run for the wheelchair and plop down, and it hurts when you sit down until you sit there for a few minutes, and then you start, okay, it's feeling better. Then you go to the microwave and you take your corn bag out and you got in there baking it 3 or 4 minutes, put it behind your back and lay up against it and go, oh God, now I know why you invented pain. I know why now. So we can praise you when it's relieved. Oh, and that's what that bag does. Oh, I lay back on that, baby. Oh, it's a blessing from God. I wanted to make it a Fatima bag with a picture of the miraculous medal on it, on the front and on the back, blue. That's my thoughts. Let's see what it looks like. This one's kind of raggy now because I've been using it non-stop every day for over, I don't know, a year or something almost, really. Can you imagine that? There it is right here. It's full of that corn that you feed cows, a bag of corn, feed the squirrel with it. You fill that up, put it in there for 3.5 minutes. That's the good. My wife can't take it. She wants it 3 minutes. So anyways, I use that. And I got 5 of those bags. I made them. I bought one for $40 off the hospital. Nurses were making them for the patients because they were looking for some type of relief for the back pain. And there's just no relief. I've checked everybody out. Unless you want to be out there in fentanyl or something like that, heroin or something, you're not going to get rid of your back pain. The only way to do it is heat treat it and stretch it and go with the pain and live with the pain and take your little bit of hydrocodone I'll give you, to relax. As soon as you stand up, your spine collapses on top of each other. That's it. And there's no pain pills for that. That just takes over. That's got your nerves, and it's called spinal stenosis. That's what I got. There's your spine, and there's a tube that goes down, and inside that tube is all your nerves and everything. And they spring out all over. They go down into your butt, your two hips. They go down into your hips. Those nerves, big conglomeration of nerves, boom, they're right there now. That's where they are with me. They went from the middle of the L4, L5, worked its way down, went into the S1, S2 area, coccyx bone, and then went to one side, and I got the facet shots. That took care of that. But they didn't do the facet shots on the right side, so all the pain went to the right side. I'm saying right here, it's left, and turn around. Oh, you got the point. Oh, anyways, it went down that far to where I was thinking it was kidney stone pain. Because I've had several kidney stones. Oh, there's stories I got in the past in my other videos about the doctors wanting to operate on me for kidney stones and how I escaped a 10-inch scar on the side because some drunk wanted to operate on me and make us $2,500 and take a little teeny stone out and leave me with a 10-inch scar when he knew dang well that they don't do intrusive surgery for kidney stones anymore. But I didn't know that, and he wasn't going to educate me. I lucked out. He had the nurse on his side, the emergency nurse on his side, too. She's the one that called him. He must give her a little cut. Who knows? I don't know. But they're both telling me, oh, you got to hurry up and get this done and block your kidney off. And right now it's 95% blocked. And if you don't do it, you're going to lose your kidney. They're telling me this stuff, right? So I'm getting excited. Okay, well, when can we do it? And this and that. And just then, there was a nurse. No, she knew me somehow. Well, she must have known my sister. My sister was the executive secretary of the hospital I was in for 20 years. So everybody knew her. They knew that she was a Nixon. And I was a Nixon. So the nurse, she bided her time and she snuck up behind me. She goes, Bill, they don't do intrusive surgery on kidney stones of your nature. You get it done with lithotripsy. Check it out. So I says, what's lithotripsy? And I looked at her and I says, well, I'm going to go check this out. And I looked at the doctor and he says, well, I've got some things I got to do right now because I'm in a hurry. I got to get out of here and I'll be right back. I'll get right back with you real quick. And he goes, okay, but I'm telling you, you better hurry up. We'll schedule you right in. We'll get you right in, take care of it. I said, okay. So I went home and I made phone calls around. What's lithotripsy? Who's got a lithotripsy machine? No machines at the time. This is way back when they didn't have machines around here. I don't know what year it was. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to figure that out. But anyways, I found a place that had a lithotripsy machine, and it was in Danville, Pennsylvania, which is south of us about 110 miles or something like that. Somewhere's around there, Pennsylvania. I called it up, made an appointment, went down there, had the lithotripsy done, came back. No 10-inch scar. Stone was gone. No 10-inch scar. My insurance paid for it. So, that's the story of almost being, what do you call it, hacked on. That was the hacking back then. Now they hack on your computer, right? Now back then they were hacking on you because of your stupidity. I didn't know anything about kidney stones or how they took care of them. You know, he might not have believed in lithotripsy. He thought there was something wrong with that in the future. It could affect you somehow. And this is the way to do it. Do it this way, the way I do it. I've been doing it like this for years. I know what I'm doing. And it's called being an antiquated doctor, I think. Caveman doctor, I call him. Caveman doctor wanted to rip me open and take my kidney stone out and go to the bar and spend his $2,500 he made. Thank God that didn't happen to me. And I've got other stories that knock your socks off. Just stay tuned. That's just one of them. And it's a positive note, too, because it's a warning. What you see and you hear about things, watch. I've got a movie, my video about the artist that wanted to paint a picture of the Blessed Mother. He was looking for a face that looked like the Blessed Mother in his imagination. And he finally found it. And ere he pursued it, in all his pursuits, different stages of his pursuits, people were observing him and his intentions and what they look like. And out of all the people, every one of them had a different opinion. He went from being a ladies' man, a real ladies' man, to a gangster hood killer looker around her, to a, oh my God, he just murdered somebody. I'm out here screaming, oh, he murdered. Check out my film and see what that was all about. Different people looking at this poor guy. He was just an artist, wanted to paint a picture of the Blessed Mother. Even the woman he picked out was, you wouldn't believe what she turned out to be. Well, it's just our perception of what's going on and what really is reality. How do we perceive reality? Maybe all those people were right in the way they thought, in their own mind. But, and there's nobody to prove them wrong either. That guy, the artist, was sitting in the back and he had a cocked hat on, over his eye. He's squinting, he's looking around. He's not saying much, he just gave the address. Cab driver's looking at him in the rear view mirror. He says, that guy's a gangster. I know a gangster when I see a gangster. He's a sinister looking son of a man. Look at him, looking around. He had this big thing about who he was in the back of his seat, right? That was his point of view. All the guy was doing was sitting there thinking, oh, I hope she calls. If she calls, and I can convince her to get in here and I can make that painting starting. I can start that painting as soon as possible. I just hope she calls. That's what he's thinking, right? But this other guy in the rear view mirror was looking at him, and the guy's looking around like this. You don't know what's going through his mind. Oh, is he calculating? Who's he going to rob? He's got a robbery he's thinking about? He should think of where that cab driver came from. Why is he a cab driver? He can't get a job. He's got out of jail. I don't. See what I'm talking about? You can look at it different. You can look at it differently. That's the first time I ever thought of that. I just said it because I thought about it. We do what we think. And the devil can make it look like, oh, God, he can set you up. He's a master at it. He's got it all figured out, planned out and everything. I caught him right in the middle of one once with police people. The police were involved in this. I got that in one of my tapes, too. They set me up with a policewoman. And then the next morning, they blocking my driveway, not letting me out, saying, you did it. You did it. We got you now, Billy boy. That was this one guy. He just couldn't stand people being religious. He didn't believe in it. He had a bad experience with priests and who knows, whatever. He didn't have any respect for him at all. And he was out to prove me wrong and make me look like I came in the area singing and praising God and teaching the children and all that stuff. He was going to make it, so I couldn't do that anymore. And I got set up. Taking the woman home after work. She said she had some marijuana that she wanted to share. If I take her home and this and that. Well, that story. I thought, well, I don't know where to get marijuana. I'd like to have some marijuana. I was a young kid. Well, I waited for her, and we took her home in the car. I sat there and, I light up a joint. I'd smoke it, everything. She's looking at me. I says, I just want to let you know I like smoking marijuana, and I didn't know where to get any, and you had some, so I was going to smoke some, and feel relaxed and do that. But I don't mess around on my wife. I don't cheat or anything like that on her. She's looking at me. She moved back in her seat, studying me for a minute, see if she can entice me somehow or whatever. I am stoned. But God was too strong. He was too strong. She got out of the car. I turned my truck around. I went home. Next morning, it's time to pay the piper because he was a probation officer. He was waiting at the front of my driveway in the morning. He saw me pulling out, and he pulled up and blocked me from getting out. And he gets out of the car, and he says, "Now I got you." I said, "What do you mean?" And just then, the car pulls up, and it's that woman I took home last night. And he looks at me, and he goes over, and he talks to her, and he comes back, and he's got this disappointed look on his face. As I didn't do nothing. And she told him. He didn't do nothing. She was a cop. He was a cop. They were planted right. She was a bartender, and he lived right outside the bar in a trailer. And everybody around knew him. He was friends. He played the guitar. Everybody. He had all kinds of friends and everything. There was their headquarters. How do I know this? Because I graduated from college. I came back down, and he was the director of the probation department. So, somebody badmouthed me or something, probably called back in Binghamton, and somebody knew me from the police department. And they did an investigation on me, trying to see who was this guy who was teaching our schools and playing songs and all that, trying to get a background on me. And they got the wrong person. They got a person that knew me when I was 12, 13, 14, 15. After that, I was gone. I was in the service. But he knew about me because he let him have it both barrels. He told him everything about me. And I knew who it was, but I have a guess, a good educated guess of who it was. And he has a lot to talk about himself. But I didn't go blabbing around about him. But he didn't find it wrong about blabbing about me and my past. Priest come right up to me. He says, "Oh yeah, you did this, you did that." And I said, "How'd you find me out?" I didn't deny it. I went to confession to him all the time, He knows who I really am. I didn't deny what my past was to him, to the priest. He says, "Well, that's what's happening, Bill. I want to let you know that they're doing an investigation on you. You got people in there that don't like you. Because they're not saying good things about you." I've had friends of mine tell me I mentioned some other friend, and they go, "Oh no, he's not your friend, Bill. Don't think he's your friend." And I'm thinking, "Oh, yeah, he was a music teacher, and he taught his kid, so he knew him, and they talked. And I was a good friend of this one that was a music teacher. And he talked about me to this friend. He didn't know how good of a friend he was. He was a good friend, childhood friend. And he came back to me. He says, "Yeah, that guy. Don't trust him. He's not your friend. You wouldn't believe what he said about you." Well, there's that then. That's what happens. You don't know who your friend is. And Jesus, how he felt when Judas came up and kissed him. And Judas knew what he was doing. And he went up and he kissed Jesus. And Jesus says, "You betrayed me with a kiss?" He knew everything was going on. We're not that much better than Jesus when it comes to what he went through and what we go through. He said that if he's in our life, we'll work greater works than what he worked. What did he mean by that? I keep on thinking. And then I see the church grow and how big it is, how it controls humanity, and we've reached this level. I think we've reached the level that we can't catch up with. We're getting up here so high now. It takes a lot to train people, the technologies and all that. You almost got to be a super brain. Computers and everything else at your beck and call. Anything you want done is done. What's going to happen when they push the button and we're all back in the caves? Something to think about. Because that's where we're heading when we deviate from God's laws with our own laws. And the United States did that for the first time this last decade ago. It started in the 70s and stuff too. It became law. And once it became law that deviates from God's law, then you're a nation that can be punished with war. Because when you start doing things that are against God's law, the punishment is war. So, and that's one thing I gotta say about Biden. Everybody hates him, what do we got? Well, it depends on who voted for him, I guess. When I look at it, I say, the one thing he did was he got us out of a 20-year war. Played a part in it, at least. I heard he used to walk around with rosaries around his hands. What's that all about? Did anybody hear that? I heard about it. And then they say, "Oh, he's down in his cellar. We don't know what he's doing down there. He's down in his cellar." Nobody knows what Biden's doing down in his cellar. He doesn't come out to the press, doesn't do anything. And I'm thinking, is he praying the rosary down there? That's what I'm thinking. Is he praying the rosary? God's in control. He wouldn't be where he is unless God willed it so. You can call it evil as much as you want, but nothing happens unless God says so. "Oh, well, what about my daughter? She died. She was only 2 years old. What about, Impossible things like God can't make a rock he can't pick up type things. That's life. It's frailty of life. Everybody's blaming God for the frailty of life. That's life. Some of us come out perfect and some of us come out with two heads. It wasn't our fault or the baby's fault that we were taking drugs or we were on some type of exotic chemical or you were exposed to Agent Orange or whatever. And look what came out of it. Let's blame God for that. Let's blame God. We took and sprayed all these fields with Agent Orange and servicemen breathed it in and came back and made babies and they didn't have arms. How is that God's fault? That's man's fault. That's humanity's fault. That's inhumanity to humanity. Oh, we're the only race that kills our babies. Oh my God. And then call it, well, it's thinning out the riffraff. That's what you hear, you know. These people, they live in their great big mansions and they're well-to-do and they're poised and they're sophisticated and everything. And then they're spoiled. And what's going on in life? How come we can't live without feeling guilty? And the Catholic Church knows it's coming down because they've seen it several times before, the same thing. Corruption gets so thick. It was so thick back in Martin Luther's day that Jesus was kicked out of the Eucharist. There's only 25% of Catholics nowadays that believe that the true presence of Jesus, body, blood, and soul, and divinity is present. They don't believe that it's the body of Christ. They believe it's the remembrance of it. Even Billy Graham, well respected man, I even respected him. Well, right guy, made mistakes. He said there was only one person that came into this world without sin, and that was Jesus Christ. And he's right. He did come into the world without sin, but he wasn't the only one. The Immaculate Conception was the other one that came into the world without sin. First, even before Jesus. Because she was the mother of God. How could sin bring God into the world? She was born without sin. She was immaculately conceived. She is the Holy Mother of God. Oh, you can get, the devil wants to take and make me say things that he can take and really get me on. And I'm not going to say them. Because I have to have the approval of magisterium before I make any statements. But the call of Fatima is a prayerful understanding on my behalf. I pray in tongues myself. And I am charismatic. I play charismatic prayer groups, music for them and all that stuff. My wife and I both, we pray and play. And we don't care where it is, if it's for Jesus. And we got both. We got arthritis. And we got discouraged. because the devil snuck in and stole it away from us. And I hung up my guitar. I was 50 years old. That was 22 years ago, 23 years ago this January. And I didn't take it off the wall and really get serious with it until I heard this one group play from Portugal. I says, they had a spirit. I feel it. They had harmonica. The guy was jamming on his guitar really nice. Not the pounded rock and roll you hear, but it was nice. I want to be in love with you. But he had echo on his voice. He had all enhanced musically and everything. Guitar and everything. And when he said that, it set my spirit soaring. Oh, it just soared. I wanted to be in love with God. And it was saying it. And I said, I'm going to get that song. I'm going to get that harmonica. I'm going to learn how to do it like that. I'm going to do it the way the Holy Spirit guides me to do it. I'm going to get it. I know I can play the harmonica. I've got all the basics. I got all the basics. I know how to play the harmonica a little bit. But I don't know what harmonica goes with what key. I mean, I noticed I saw it on TV here just recently because I've been watching. E minor, A harp, E minor, A harp, G chords, G progression with a C, which I'm going to do. Okay. Now, I don't know how this is going to work. Now, I'm having a hard time bar chord. My finger dexterity, I have two numb fingers. These two right here. The two end ones. When you have two end fingers that are numb, it's like a rabbit, doesn't it? Hey, what are you doing over there? Hey, come here. Anyways. See, I get fooling around. I lose my track of thought. But if I can't have fun, why am I doing it, right? I'm doing it, and hopefully there's one soul out there someplace that says, hey, man, that's a brother. That's a brother. He's got it. He's telling it like it is. There's one person out there somewhere. It would be all worth it. I bring one person that God can love forever. Oh, fishers of men. The harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. Who's qualified to be a laborer? What are you doing when God sends somebody to you? Well, if you are in tune with God, you don't have to worry about it because He'll tell you what to say. You'll say it. You'll just know what to say. And you'll think about it after you say it. Where did that come from? I never wrote that down from anywhere. Holy Spirit. Clear your path, confess your sins, and live a good, chaste, celibate life with fasting, and keep your eyes off the Jezebel, both male and female. You know, I just noticed something that I can't see what I'm doing. I'm looking at myself and as I'm talking, trying to make a video, another video I can add to my collection of videos because I'm trying to make a fun for my Kenya. The babies down there being eaten by crocodiles. You know, You can even go on YouTube and YouTube it. Yeah, let's see how dirt poor Kenya is here. What do they live in? Mud huts. Mud huts in Kenya. Put that. See what you get. Dirt poor. I mean, we're talking about no running water or anything. They're still in the bushes with blowguns. Man, climbing cliffs for honey, being stinged in high heavens just for a taste of honey. Man. And they've been doing that for years and years. Again, nobody knows. They're primitive. They're just coming out of their hiding spot. Really, I mean, they're way back in the woods, Kenya, in the desert-like type atmosphere. Usually, the cattle or the ox. What do they call it? The prairie buffalo, or what do you want to call it? They come across in big herds, and the gators are right there, and they grab one and nose it through, rip it apart, and they're feeding on that until the next herd comes across, going back. Something they eat twice, 3 times a year, maybe. But when they eat good. Well, they got a taste for human flesh, and they're scoping the babies out down in Kenya. Can't get water. They're dirt poor. They can't. They don't have enough money to buy a loaf of bread, and it's got to be day-old bread or something so they can afford it. They're so dirt poor. The water's 400 feet down, and there's no way of getting out of it. You got a good buck, get it up out of there. Are you guys worth it? I bet you couldn't put all your money together and even make a gesture of making a down payment on it. No, what do you got to do? You got to go to the river. And when you go to the river, what are you up against? God only knows. And he's going to try to fix it, I hope. And I hope he gives me the ability to do what I got to do. Because I think I can put shallow water wells all up and down that river. 30, 40 feet down, and we got water. Not 400 feet and in due time, once things get rolling and all that stuff, and I get a good donation come in, yeah, we'll put some water wells in the 400-foot area. But right now, we got to use PVC pipe and go down 20, 30 feet and get some water coming up that's pure, and then out in the middle where the gators can get you, and crocodiles. There's a lot more than that going on down there from what Father told me. He says, Bill, he says, I see your effort with the water. And I quoted him John 7, verses 37 to 39. Out of them will come streams of living water. It just hit the spot when I read that. I'm going to send this down to Father. That's what I mean. That's what's going to save the children. And I really believe that God's calling the people out of the bushes to join the church. He's calling the natives. There was this rich man had a big wedding going on, and he invited all these aristocrats and all these important people, and nobody showed up. So he saw nobody was showing up, and he told his servants, go out into the streets and get anybody that wants to have a meal, have them come in and enjoy my wedding feast. Well, God is getting a little concerned about nobody wanting to take over his beautiful churches. Bishops have a hard time finding people to take them over. They're overburdened. They got 5 churches open in one area, and there's not enough people to go to one church. So what are they going to do? They're going to close them down. Too much of an expense. You got to pay for electric. It ain't free. You don't have to pay taxes because the government hasn't found a way in yet. But once they do, once they do, that's why I tell you, as soon as you get the donation, as soon as you get the house, as soon as you get some, don't hold on to it and wait for it to increase in value. Sell it. Give it to the poor. That's what it was meant for. I was down one of these big, huge chanceries down in Florida. And I walked in and I was being guided tour. You know, I was a religious education teacher. It's from St. Leo College. I was their main person in the program. So St. Mary'sburg wanted to check me out, see what it was all about and everything. Brought me down there and we toured. And we walked into this one business office and there was rows and rows and rows of cabinet. Pull out the drawer cabinets as high as you. All the way down and from one end of the room to the other, and we're talking about a hallway room, you know, not just a little room. We're talking about a hallway room. We're probably talking 50 feet. And I said, "What's all that?" To the priest that was giving me the guy to do it. He said, "Oh, that's all the properties that are left from people pass on. They leave it to the church." What are we complaining about? Why don't we sell it and get some money here? I'm thinking. They got their. I'm not in charge. You know, they got their reasons why this and that. And why they don't pay taxes. There should be a law if you don't use the property, you got to pay taxes on it. And that will get them moving. They're just sitting around like gold that is tarnished. I think to myself, I think, all the good that church can do, I can just get a chunk of that little change that they got there and send it down to Kenya, and everybody be drinking fresh water again and feel better about themselves. There wouldn't be even all the diseases and everything that are popping up all over the place. And fresh water. That's the key, fresh water. That's going to ruin Florida. They've got to pipe it in now. Where are you going to get it from? They got to learn how to make reverse osmosis out of the ocean. They got to get together and they got to get some big, huge machines that do it, and then they got to maintenance them. And if it costs a fortune, it costs a fortune, but we got to have it done because we want to live. There's not going to be any water. We got to come up with something. Poor guy. I didn't want to get into that one. The guy invented the car that ran on water. What happened to him? I'm not going to tell the story. You guys should investigate what happened to that poor man. You don't fool around with the purse that's in charge of the economy. That's the number one big sin against the economy. Don't mess with our investors. Set the world free, no pollution. Cars running on water. Hydrogen machine. And we shelved it. killed the inventor. He choked to death at a celebration for his accomplishment of finding an engine that runs on water. And all the rich people were there, and I was wondering, how did they get rich? Who were they involved with? And all I did was witness him grabbing his throat after the toast to his accomplishment, running out the door with his brother chasing him. What's going on? What's going on? What's happening? What's the matter? As soon as they hit the door, he turns around and grabs his brother and falls limp in his arms. He's dead. Deader than a doornail. He was poisoned by his toast. He was the man that said the Holy Spirit showed him how to do that. How to make an engine run on water. You can't fool with the purse in charge of the economy. You're messing, doing the wrong thing. The only way that you're going to go out is if there's no more oil. And it doesn't look like we got a knife in the United States for 200 years. We got to watch out. We're not going to run out of oil. We got so much we can sell it to the rest of the world. And they got us thinking, watch out. We use it all up. We're not going to have anything to run our country on. Instead of investing into a nice type of engine that can run and make electricity and run on water, H2O, hydrogen. Man, that was a big mistake. But it was so obvious. And this was to show you, what are we going to do about it? We know what happened. We know why it happened. And we just go over to the store and buy our groceries. Come home. Go to sleep. Get up. Go to work. Okay. That's what we got to do to survive. We're surviving. The economy's working. Rich are rich and the poor are poor. That's the way it is. When you get a free thinker coming in and the Holy Spirit's guiding them, he doesn't get anything better than what Jesus got, that's for sure. I think about it. You drift in and out of what your life is as you're growing older. You look back and you say, where was God working in my life there? And you come up with a situation and you come up, what's the worst case scenario in this situation? And you think about it. And then you realize what happened in the situation. How did it come out? And me with the police woman and the policeman. All the 3 words in my life. CAC. Confession and communion. That's what beats the devil. God takes it from there. And you grow day by day by day. I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I was having problems. But now I'm not having those problems anymore. I've identified the problem, and I tried and tried and tried, and I picked myself up off the mat, and I got back there, and I started punching it out, and I got knocked out again, I got back up. Because I got this thing. The saints are sinners. They keep on trying. Don't get on the mat and not get up and give up. It's just too much. I'm not going to. Just let me live my life as best I can and as happy as I can. Don't bother me with that stuff. I had a close friend say, with that shit. I don't believe in that shit. After he received a miracle from God, There's a story behind it. I tell it in some of my other tapes. You'll find out about the man without gratitude. And it's a story in one of my videos. It's not real long. I don't take a long time to tell a story, but I tell it like it is. I'm not going to lie to you. Ask me questions. You got any questions? I've been around a long time. I got 200 college credit hours in psychotherapy, counseling, social sciences, religious education, philosophy, theology. I got enough credit hours to have a doctorate degree. Over 200 college credit hours with a decent grade point average, 3.0. And they wouldn't have been higher than that if I hadn't have taken a lot of courses and then dropped them after I had 8 weeks into it, learned what I could learn, and they wouldn't charge me. But I got 8 weeks out of them. 16-week semesters and whatever it is. I get 8 weeks. I learn about the foundations of everything. Most of it is your philosophy after you learn the foundation of psychotherapy. Transactional analysis. Being able to evaluate yourself and how long would it take? Freud thought 20 years. That's him. He's a complicated person too, so. And you can get into all kinds of books and everything about him and what he thought and how he thought. Myself, I listened to them all, and this caught my attention, that caught my attention. When I got into the school system, I tried it out. There was a nice program in there for delinquency control, where you put activating event, circumstances of the acting event, the outcome, and then your dispute about what happened, the outcome. And somebody punches somebody in the head because they said this and that, that's the activating event. The circumstances of an activating event, tempers rose up, there was fist flying, there was a fight. Dispute, was the right thing done? Was it worth even fighting over? Analyzing your behavior. Look what you're doing. Look what your behavior caused. Let the kids see that. They're not dumb. They can realize that. Next time it happens, they'll look out for it. I had a beautiful program to do that. They want to pay me $60 a day. That was an insult, especially when pharmacists are making that an hour. And I got more credit hours than the pharmacist does. He might have more years and experience in his courses and internships and all that. It's 8 years. I only got 6 years of college, approximately. I remember they wanted me to be on the rolling team so bad because I was in shape. Boy, all muscle. And the rowing team instructor, he was in charge of curriculum. He was a counselor. He looked over all my credit hours. He says, "What are you going to do, stay in school forever?" I remember him saying that. I had 6 years in school. I went to school as a high school dropout. I was 21, something like that, 22. I got my degree, an AA degree. After getting my GE degree, I got my AA degree in 1975. Then I moved down to St. Leo for a year and a half, studied theology and philosophy. I was on the dean's list and everything. Boy, they loved me there. I was in the religious education program at St. Leo College. First program opened up for religious education. I was in the seat. even sent up their best from the diocese to be the head of the department because they look at that as something like invested. It was a good investment. So they sent their testers to clear the path. Being a young kid, I didn't know what they were looking for. I just was me. I was faithful to my wife. I went to Mass and communion. My faith was in God, and I was going to give it a shot. I was going to give it a try to do something. And they sent their testers. They sifted me like, I like to say wheat. No, powdered sugar. That's how fine they sifted me. I got stories that'll knock your socks off. But I'm not going to tell them. Not unless there's a big fund, a donation. If somebody makes a big donation to my Kenya fund, I'll tell that story, and it will change the world, the way of looking at the way it is out there. And I'm going to let you know the truth. At least what I was exposed to as the truth. I'm not saying everybody was tested like I was. Right. The devil wanted to sift me like powdered sugar. He was skipping over sifting me like flour. He was really wanting to do a job on me. And I got stories. You'll see when I tell him. You'll see his face. You want to see the devil? I can tell you what he looks like. Listen to some of my stories. But until I get that big donation, I'm not going to tell the story. When I get that big donation, it's not going to go through me. It's just going to go to the poor people, the dirt poor people in Kenya. And it's going to go through the Catholic Church because I'm Catholic, but there isn't going to be any ceiling that you can't get fresh water for your children because you're not Catholic. I'm not going to have that. All are under the guidance of God. We're all born, we're all waking up, smelling the roses. The same as a millionaire to a little kid in a mud hut being eaten by alligators, crocodiles, tigers after them. What a primitive world that is. Scope it out. Fly over it. You got the technology. Fly over Kenya and see what I'm talking about. Let them take you into their houses. You're thought of being a rich man if you have a mud hut. Or if you're the wife of a man that had a couple mud huts, left them to you, and you're renting them out. Imagine that, you rent out a mud hut. How much you pay? A loaf of bread? How are they going to pay for it? They're dirt poor. They don't have any jobs. We're talking about difficult times. The priest told me, and the second time I'm telling you, there's more things down here than just drilling water wells that need to be done. Talk to me, I'll tell you about it. I said, Father, right now, I just want to get things rolling. I just want to find out if it's going to work. I just made these videos. And I don't know, and I've got to find somebody that knows how to put them out there to the right people. I need donations if I'm going to make this program work. I'm going to have my woodshop. I got plenty of woodshop movies coming my way, your way. And I'm going to be using different characters. I'll be probably a character. Maybe I'll dress up with camouflage or something. Camouflage my face. I'll make a... What can I make? Oh, I got this deer. I can make a deer. I got one right over here. I got a horse. Here, let me see. That horse right there. See him in the middle of that plant? That's a neat little thing I make. I make those kind of things, you know. There in the middle of the plant. We live in the carousel capital of the United States. We have the most carousels here. 6 carousels we have here. And they're quality ones, too. They've got papers. They're certified. It's a 100% carousel. We got 6 of them. That was the name of my business, Carousel Capital Realty. List with me and minor repairs are free. I couldn't. I was being swamped. I had so much business, I was thinking, I can't handle all this. And then you get into hiring people and other agents, and then you get into their life. And, you gotta nurture keep them happy, I mean, I wasn't into it. I wasn't going to become a slave to something like that. No, I stayed mainly on just what I can handle. I tried to give some of the work to other brokers, but they just couldn't realize. I give them $3,000 and they just couldn't dig down, reimburse me $500 for the lead. And pull teeth to get it. Oh yeah, well you got all. Oh, I got all the business. You want some of it? They want it, but they don't want to pay for it. They want to rip you off. See what they can get away with. I had them going right into my MLS listings and screwing my listings up to where they weren't on the internet. They looked like they were, but they weren't. Because I had somebody call up and say, hey, I tried to look up my house that you listed and I can't find it. Where is it? I said, it's on the internet. I go there, it'll be right there for me. But not for anybody else. And how did they do that? Somebody was out to make me fail. Because I was getting the business. It was mine. And they knew it. And then I had my accident. Probably lucky I had my accident because maybe some muscle was going to come in and rub me down a little bit. I'm fooling around with the purse. I'm getting all the business. Oh, God saw that. And I fell from the scaffold 1.5 stories down on my back, and I couldn't walk up and down stairs anymore. I couldn't get in a drug. I was always a hassle to meet somebody someplace so I could show them the house. And my back hurt, my neck hurt, everything was hurting me. Oh, I claimed a disability. Now I'm disabled. I'm in a wheelchair. I got cervical stenosis along with my spinal degenerative spine disease. Oh, they just attacked my spine. I don't have any records of them coming in and doing spinal taps on me. When did I have that spinal tap? I said, we have no record of you having a spinal tap. What? Doctor came in with a doctor outfit on with his glass, with his stethoscope and everything. Looked up my name, Mr. Nixon, we gotta have a specimen from you, from your spine, and I'm here to get it. And you want it. If we don't get it, we can't tell what's the matter with you. Because I had this grit and everything was tight on me for some reason. couldn't remember what the things I was doing at the time. I wasn't on heavy medication of any sort. But I had suffered from kidney stones, one after another after another. Oh my God. Well, anyways, so I was up on what opioids were because they used to give me that. And I got to the point, I was talking to another guy. He says, yeah, he says, they'll give you a medication. You get some of these doctors will give you medication, and you find yourself driving, backing into fire hydrants, and knocking the trees over and stuff when you're driving. It wants to be like that. I mean, I don't, I'll suffer, I guess. I know I got to take and drive my car around feeling like that. I got enough sense to do that. But there's people that don't have enough sense. I talked to one, he says, yeah, I had it so bad I couldn't even walk, and they gave me this medication, Perca something, whatever it was, and he says, man, I was driving into trees and fire. I don't want to be like that. Moderation for me. So that's what happens. You're young and healthy. I used to run with the deer. I say that in all my films. I used to run with the deer, really. I'm not lying. I ran with the silver medalist, Olympics. Stayed right up with him his whole workout. And after the workout, he looked at me, he says, you're in pretty good shape. What's your name? Silver medalist. Working at SUNY. Harper College, or whatever it is over there. At the time, that was in 72, somewhere 71, 72, 73, somewhere around there. Before I went to college, before I went to down south St. Petersburg Junior College, which was about 73, I started down there. So it was before that. I had a little amateur career going on, won the local Golden Gloves, and I fought a lot of titled guys. And AAU champion, all services champion. I fought, who was that? Marvin Johnson's brother, Henry Johnson, his name. I fought him in the Nationals. What a story that is. I tell you what happened there. You won't believe it. But anyways, to get further down, I fought the Navy champion in Troy, New York, and I beat him. And all the judges, two of the judges, came back in my dressing room after the fight. They were kind of like, they were kind of guilty and talking. And he says, Billy, he says, you won that fight. We know you won that fight. But he's the champion. He's the one, we get all of our money and everything because he draws the people in. They want to see the Navy champion fight. Because he usually knocks the guy out in the first round. I mean, you got these guys from the bars, and they come in and their head's sticking out like you put it on the end of a golf. You were golfing and you put it on the end of a tee, and you just tee off on it, whack, and drive it 300 yards. That's what he was doing. He was fighting all these guys that were tough. I mean, everybody knew they were tough. But he knocking them out in the first round. And he took my fight. I don't know how I got involved in there. They got me in there somehow. Oh, it was just the title. I wanted to fight against the title. I was just drawn in with titles. If you didn't have a title, I didn't fight you. That's why I lost a lot of fights. I fought him way over my head. Pick myself up to the mat and laugh. Okay, well, I lost that one. Go on. I'd win and still wouldn't win. The politics. We give you the decision. He won't come and fight here anymore, and we don't have any money for a card and everything else. And people, and they got all the kids, all the funds, all the charities, blah, 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 blah. You understand? Yeah, I'm in college, I told him. I'm not going to be a fighter. I only do this to keep in shape. And I was curious. I wanted to see how good I would be against the Navy champion if I boxed him instead of trying to kill him or knock him out first round, like I usually do. Like he usually does. I mean, they were expecting just a down, get out, 3 solid minutes, real hard and fast. Whoever was standing after that, because there wouldn't be somebody standing if him and I went at it like that. Instead, we fought, we boxed, we moved around. I bobbing and weaving. He couldn't get set on me. He told me after the fight. He says, "Yeah," he says, "that bobbing and weaving, I couldn't get my jab set." He had a nice jab, but he couldn't. I was bobbing and weaving all the time, and I'd be on top of him, throwing punches, this and that. I never fought anybody like you. And I don't know, you get these guys come out of the bars and they're tougher than nails and they want to try to beat me up. It's fun. I can just, bam, they're done. He only needs a punch about this far, 6 to 8 inches, when you know what you're doing. I knew what I was doing. And so did the Navy champion, though. We didn't get a chance to use it on each other because we boxed. It was the most exciting fight from the people were saying that they've had there in a long time. It was exciting. I never knew what was going to happen the next couple minutes, seconds. I slip a punch, get hit, move around. I didn't mind your stuff. He did his stuff. I had my corner man was my best man at my wedding. Lynn, his name is. He's a big ITT tech graduate. He was in charge of 400 or 500 people at a time with these big corporations and all that overseas. And I mean, he was qualified in engineering for sure. So his credibility, I'm counting on. I told him, I talked to him on the phone the other day, and I said, remember that, Lynn? I says, I fought the Navy champ. He says, yeah, you beat him, hands down, I know. He says, you even had him out once. I was hollering to you, you had him. And you just wanted to fight him, box him. So I had him once, he said. And this guy, he's living in a mansion out in Maine somewheres now. Millions of dollars. He had it together. He knew what was going on. He knew I won that fight. Well, I laughed it off really because I'm not going to be a fighter. And I told him, I says, well, you got the title. I says, have fun defending it. Because I'm not going. Now, the smart thing to do would have been to give me my due. Let me have the fight. And then that's the first time the Navy champion's been beaten, and now he's in vengeful spirit. He says, I'm going to be in shape the next time I come here. I'm going to knock this guy out. And I'm saying the same thing. Do you think there'll be any seats available in that stadium when we fight? It was just local little town, Golden Glover against the Navy champion deal. But people wanted to see it. They were interested. And if we were one of those fight promoters that they had with Muhammad Ali and all them guys, it was a stage, A lot of that stuff was staged. In my own opinion, when Mike Tyson came out and fought for the world title against Douglas, that wasn't Mike Tyson. He had to have been on something, sickness or something, or flu or something like that. That wasn't the buffed Mike Tyson come up in both hands non-stop till he went hit the bat. And Buster was just a mediocre fighter compared to what he had fought in the past. First round knockouts. Mean. Man, that guy. He was a mean machine. I just watched him destroy one guy after another after another. And when he came out, and I saw him, and when he came out, now he didn't look bad. He was like down to 220 or something like that. He didn't look bad, but he wasn't that ferocious, buffed. Mike Tyson ain't come in the ring every time just waiting. It's not gonna last, guys. Don't close your eyes. You'll miss the fight, and he'll be on the mat, and I'll be prancing around with my arms in the air saying, "Who's next?" That's what he was. And everybody knew it, too. I'm not exaggerating. I was brought up in that whole atmosphere. My brother was number 5 in the world, Irish Mike Nixon. You go on the internet, look him up. Irish Mike Nixon, California knockout artist. It'll pop right up. And everything about his career. I'm praying for him now, man, because he's in his 70s. And his trainers sold him out. They sold all of his rights. They sold all of his movies he made, all of his video. Everything was sold out underneath the table without him knowing it. And he's left with nothing. Real honest people, huh? I had a nephew that wanted to get into it. I tried to show him the way it was, politics, the way they were doing things. They waited for us to go get dinner and to call everybody together to who's going to fight who. When I got there, I found out that they had made the draw. I'd done that before with other fighters, and they made the draw. They didn't have to fight. But when they're picking the fighters, who's going to fight who, and you're not there, you're supposed to be there, but they didn't tell you when you're supposed to be there. They just pick who's going to fight who. They picked the card. And that's what happened. My nephew. Tough kid, real tough. Too bad what they did to him. They set him up. It was supposed to be a Golden Gloves fight. And they had the Golden Gloves fight, and they awarded the Golden Gloves to some other middleweights and stuff like that. And now I says, well, what's my fighter going to do? Fight for that? What are you guys doing? They just wanted me to fight another guy because it would have been a good fight on the card. They had a lot of top-notch people from the government and all that stuff to support their programs, donate their money to their programs. This was their evening of entertainment. This is how we knew it. Oh. That's what happened. I went into a fight one time. I fought this one kid for the title, for open title. And he had his gang there. His gang. He was the leader of a gang. And I wish I would have wore earplugs when I walked in, because they said, Nixon, if you win, you're a dead man. I could have probably teed off on that kid, that's for sure. And he was tough. Oh, he did rock me once, too. Because I laid back. I didn't fight like I get in there and fight. But I look back at it, that was the only thing that kid did for years and years and years, and he lived on it, and he won the Golden Gloves. Little black guy. He didn't have any self-esteem or anything. He was just wanting to be somebody who was important, everybody looked up to for once in his life. That's how I saw it. And he won them. God bless him. It was something he needed, and he trained fighters. He was well-known, and blah, blah, blah. And his fighter was going to fight my fighter. It was the rematch of the Nixon. What his name was? Bobby something. it was going to be our proteges fighting each other rather than us two fight who fought the century before for the title. I went to college and he went on whatever he did as far as his gang did. I don't know how he ended up. Oh, I did see him. That's right. I did see him. I mean, I looked down at him when I came up to him. I shook his hand. I'm looking down at him. I said, I don't remember this guy being this little. I was a kid myself, so I grew after that fight too. So, and I'm standing over him, 280. He's still 155, 60, sobbing wet. I was thinking, but anyways, that's the way that went. That's my story. My brother's got a pretty good storytelling. And he was with some of the big guys. He can tell some really good stories, I bet. You get on his site, tune in he's got a book. I think they're gonna write. They got a book, Beyond the Ropes, or something like that. He wrote. You buy that book. And you got trigeminal neuralgia, which is the jaw right here. The nerves all went through here. They just go berserk and right into the temple. And they call it the madman's disease because it drives you mad. I don't know how he does it. I look at him, I think, my dad beat us when we were kids. They beat us. We got beat. We were brought up in that spare the rod, spoil the child generation. That was a philosophy. Everybody believed that. You had to beat your kid no matter what he did. You had to beat him a good one. Break him. My dad was an MP in the Marines, and that's his philosophy. He did it. We were beat so bad. We had bruises all over us. My mother would stick us in a bathtub of cold water so the next day at school would turn us in to be investigated or something because of what we did to our children. What made them look like they did. I was all bruised all over my body from a broom, from a branch off a tree, from a belt. I got my butt kicked one time for telling the truth. I told my dad about it years after. He said, you know, that beating you gave me, I was telling the truth. He goes, make up for all the ones I didn't get. Look who you are now. You're a nice guy. And it's the truth. I look at my students when they come into class, they sit there poised, they got a personality, they're pretty cool. And then there's these guys that come in and they're just hate. Make everybody hate them, and they hate everybody, and they want to fight after school, and this and that. The people who are poised and behaviors and everything, they come from the disciplined families. The disciplined family. And these guys, they come in here shooting their mouth off, pushing everybody around like they knew their own father. Those guys end up in jail. I see them on down the line, you know, as a parolee. I'm evaluating their ability to maybe function in an OCAD or something. I'm learning disabled. I'm felony offender, adjudicated delinquents, and all that stuff. That was my deal. But I have some success stories. You watch my films. There's one in there about Austin. He was a good kid, farm kid. Hunt that story down. You'll really see what a difference it makes if you got just one teacher behind you, pleasing you, tries to help you out, how you can end up. I knew that when I was a kid, but I could never find a teacher that would do that. They always stuck together as a pack. When one is having problems, you're to stick their neck out for a student. They're going to stay with the faculty whenever they see fit. That's what's going to happen with this kid or that kid. And I wasn't. If he behaved in my classroom, I wasn't going to take it. Join the crowd of student bashers. Oh, he's acting up in my class. Yeah, I have a hard time with him. I don't know, he won't listen to me. Oh, would you discipline him in your class for me, please? Because he don't listen to me, and when he mouths out, I'll let you know, and you can make him do something that he knows he's being disciplined about. And I says, no way. I says, you give and you get. And usually it's you get what you give back. That's how it goes. And I'm not going to take it from this kid's outlook on teachers and society and everything, dog eat dog world, and not let them know that somebody's in there fighting for them other than people trying to kick them out of school. That kid I helped was ridiculed so bad by the students, and he was even stood off by the faculty because he stunk so bad. He was a barn. He cleans the barn out first thing in the morning, and he's hurrying to try to do his chores, and bus shows up. Dad goes, get on a bus. Son, the bus is here. Get on it. Right now. And I wash my hands. I gotta wash my. Get on that bus. It's here. On the bus you get green feet that were standing in the gutter shoveling the dew. Milking the cows, driving the tractor, baling the hay. Everything a working man does. And he's got to get on the school bus without washing his hands or anything like that because he don't have time. And all the kids at school, they're teasing him. Oh, you stink. Oh, my God, look at your hands. They're green. And he did. He had green hands. Green tinted hands from shoveling the shit in the barn. I looked at him and I says, whoa, man, how's he going to make it? He could be a farmer his whole life, probably. Maybe, who knows? So I noticed that he was a pretty good mechanic. He could do just about everything. Tear a car apart, a small gas engine, do all kinds of stuff. Mechanical. And that's what I had. I had a industrial arts provisional certification for working with learning disabled because I had a background of all this trades. I can do everything: electrical, plumbing, small engine repair. I even had bicycle repair, tire changing. I had gas station services. I taught the kids. They got a pretty good experience. I had one kid that could change a tire, and the record was 38 seconds or something. He'd take a tire off the rim. They can grease the other one up, put it back on, and blow it up in 38 seconds. And he did it in front of the staff, in front of the evaluators. They came into my class, and I says, well, I'm not much of a lecturer with these guys. They all fall asleep. They are doers. They gotta get in here and do something. So I'm gonna have a contest. Who can change the tire the fastest? And I had them all lined up, and everybody gave it a shot. One guy, his father was an undercover agent for the police department. He was in the program. He was a troubled kid, or maybe he was put there for some reason. I don't know. There's a lot of testing going out there you don't understand. They're on top of things. They don't want to catch you if you're doing something bad or something. And you got the little guy saying, Daddy, this is what happened when he did this. I'm wrong to me. And where does it go? It gets right to the right people, right? We don't have a dumb generation out there. We have people with responsibility. And they know how to operate their business. They know how to catch a thief. They have detectives. They got police officers, women police officers, as well as young, looking like they're teenage police officers. That was when drugs were bad. Now everything's lessened. Everything's kind of loosened up a little bit, more relaxed now. They took and passed these laws. Most of the offenders were the marijuana smokers and stuff. But now they got it so you don't even smoke marijuana and you can take it liquid, which I did. I took it liquid. I gave it a shot because of my back, and there was a combination that something had to work or I was going to be in complete misery because they wanted to do a pain libation on me, or nerve libation on my back, where they kill your nerves and all that. Some say, oh, it lasts just a couple of years, and some say, well, I had mine 10 years ago, and I'm still okay. No, there's all kinds of success stories and all kinds of look out, watch out. You don't know where you get yourself into. Don't let them fool around with your back. How many times have you heard that? I've heard it more than once. So, when's he going to play that guitar? When's he going to take and let us hear that harmonica? I just looked at it. I'm saying, I made this holder here. Actually, what happened was I had a friend. He is a master at making and improvising and seeing things and copying it. He saw I had one of these. He looked it over and he went into his shop. And he was gone for about 45 minutes, something like that. And he came out with one he made. He made one in about 45 minutes to an hour in his shop. Out of, see how these things are. They're made out of metal and stuff. He took a 5-gallon drum, the handles off of them, and he made one of these harmonica holders. And this is a copy of one of them he made. I got a couple of them around here. I can only find this one now, so let's see what we can do with it. One thing is I just grew this beard. I never had a beard before. I'm just going to do a little small ditty. I didn't even have to play it. I don't even know if this is the right microphone. And they want me to make bar chords. I mean, I can make a bar chord. These 2 fingers, I have spinal stenosis. These 2 fingers are numb. Carpal tunnel, these 2 fingers are not. Oh, that's something to get off the internet, so I don't know how valid that is, but it works in my case. I got spinal stenosis, and what? These 2 fingers on both hands are numb. Oh. And then I have to shake my hand. These fingers going around shaking my hand with the carpal tunnel stuff. They know. Some people call it the shaky hand syndrome. You stand there going like this. What's the matter with him? I don't know. He's got something. Get away from him. All it is I don't have any. I go like this a lot because I don't have any feeling in my hands. I'm getting the blood moving, circulation, and it's falling asleep. Oh, it's like right now. Oh, jeepers! Oh my goodness! It must be time for medication because that don't hurt like that unless it's time for medication. Unless it was 9 o'clock. Geez, I took it 5. That's 4 hours. I take it every 4 hours. Half. They give me one hydrocodone number 10 through 325 sulfamide, one every 8 hours. That's what I get, and I got to make it work. And plus my medical marijuana that I get. Actually, now that it's become legal, not even have to have a medical marijuana card anymore. I can just get what I want and incorporate it the way it was I was doing with my hydrocodone. But that's where I'm at. Not because I want to be there, it's because I have to be there. And it's better going out, searching the streets for some fentanyl or some heroin or something to kill the pains because they're so deathly afraid of giving you something that you might run into hydrogens or telephone poles or something if they give it to you. I'm not asking for that. Don't give me that stuff. I just want something that's I don't have to take. All of a sudden, I got to take it real quick because I'm in pain. It just comes on to you. Wham! That's the way it is just now. I'm just sitting here and I'm sinking in. I'm getting my spine going around little circles. You can feel the pain, and you can feel it. It's got, there it is. You go until you feel. The therapists say don't go in and get right on top of your pain and start massaging it and rubbing it, and deep penetrating rubs and stuff on the injured area. Let it heal. Lots of chiropractors say, let your back heal. Your back will heal. You gotta take it easy, lay back. But you gotta keep stretching. Your back will heal, but you gotta keep stretching. If not, you'll freeze right up. And that's what happens to me. I'll be here, sitting here like this. How long have I been on this? Oh my God. I have been talking 2.5 hours. Now, people are going to see that, and I don't listen to that. Well, if they get to know me, and if I'm saying stuff that they relate to, maybe they'll watch my movie 2.5 hours. Who knows? But so far, nobody's watching them. I don't know how to advertise them. There's this one company, they want me to join a couple $100 and they'll take it, see if they can get me some people. They guarantee that they'll get me people, to watch my films. I get $4,000. Once I get 4,000 people to watch, then I qualify for them to put me out there so people can see what I got and the advertisers can see what I'm doing. And then if they fit in, they'll give you some of their advertisement money. And it's not going to go to me. It's going to go right down to Kenya. Father, I'm going to send it to Father, and he's going to monitor the wells being drilled. It's right on the internet. Shallow water wells out of PVC pipe, 6-inch, with a power washer. And they go right down 40 feet with them. Get a pump on them, they can pump, or you can buy the gasoline engine. If you got a village you're doing, let the gasoline engine run and run it in so everybody can just dip and roll and take off. Dip and run. Dip and run. Fill a great big tub full of water and dip and Either that or you're waiting for somebody bumping it, filling their buckets up, and then you bomb it, and you got 10 people. So you got to organize things, get things rolling. That's what I got the priest in. The priest, he says, "Oh, there's a lot more than just that bill down here that's got to be done." And I'm thinking, Father, if you take care of it, all you got to do is go over and make sure that the well is dug, and then give them their money. And then there'll be a little bit on top of that you can add into your church collection for the needy. Hopefully. Hopefully. So it could pay off if I can get this thing rolling. I gotta get followers. So, you know anybody? Especially if you know somebody that donates, I'm a worthy cause. Just contact me. I got my credentials. You can just go to nxnusa1@gmail.com. That will get me. Another one is nxnusa1950@gmail.com. That will get me too. I got a Hotmail. nxnmonti@outlook.com. Those are 3. Now, if you watch my tape, you know how to get hold of me. Have I played this yet? No, I haven't. Oh, this is going to be longer than 3 than 2.5 hours. Just to California. I don't know. That was just. I'm late. I can't play the bar chords. I just give you a little hint of it. I used to have all kinds of things. Play E. See, I can't get that. So you gotta. See, I'm just not. You gotta brush it. Let's see. Oh man, I got okay. The thing is I have an A harp, I have a G harp, I have a D harp that I'm working on, and I have an E harp, and I have a B flat. If I can find my B flat, I can do some nice other stuff that I have to capo up to here, but I can play my B flat. I have to capo. I got a sliding capo. I can capo up 1, gel in there. It's not gel. Let me see. Fine. That's why I'm taking lessons. Because I'm doing this by ear, I don't know what. I come in here and I do a chord progression. I'm capoed up too. Find out. See, it's not there. I gotta have a G harp or I don't know. Once I get it, I can hear it. See, and then I can go into my thing. I got these ditties. I just don't. I can't remember. It's been so long. It's like 20 years. I pull it out of my back of my mind. What capo? Where do you capo this? What harmonica goes with that chord progression? I know that an A goes with a B minor progression. I can't find my A harp. So I'm not prepared, but I am. I will get prepared. I'm gonna get what I need sooner or later on down the line because I gotta finish this song. I gotta have a harmonica part that goes in there, and I have one, and it's beautiful. But I gotta find the right harp to play it because it don't gel with what I'm playing. You saw me when I just went through. I can't get the tone. It's the match. I don't know where to put the capo. I don't know what to do. I'm capoed as it is. I'm capoed 2 up because it takes the stress off the neck. And this here, the bridge, what happens is it pulls away 12 string. All the pressure will pull that right off if you don't have a quality guitar, if it's poorly made. And this one here is doing really good. I only paid like $400 for this, somewhere around there. But years and years and years ago. I mean, look at the back of it. I mean, beautiful guitar. My other one is Brazilian Rosewood. Oh, I gotta show you that. Uh-oh. I can't move. Uh-oh. No. Uh-oh. Ah. Okay, here we go. You can tell I'm Rinky Dink King. Oh, who's this guy? He's irritated. But here you go. Brazilian Rosewood. They discontinued being able to bring this into the country. It was supposed to have had some type of a disease or worm or something like that that was associated with Brazilian rosewood. So they banned it coming to the country, and then Japan got it. Knew the design and all that stuff. It was just too tempting not to take and make other guitars. And so what? We won't sell them in the United States. But they snuck in. Somehow they got through and they snuck in, and I got one. And I got one that's all inlaid with mother of pearl. Everywhere. Around and back and everything. The craftsmanship on this. Nice. Nice craftsmanship on it. And there's not many nicks in it, but what I do, because I don't I use the guitar. It's going to show wear. You know, I got a car. I can't make it look like brand new every year. That's what happens to these things. They get hit, and nicked, and everything else. I took it one time to a specialist guitar maker, and I watched him, and I says, "What do you do when it's like that?" He says, "Well, you can take and file, sand everything down, get it all nice and smooth again, and get it looking halfway decent." Well, he says, "I take and put super glue. I just put a dab in there and let it settle, let it dry. If I have to sand it a little bit, I can sand a little bit. It comes out nice and shiny after I buff it. So I have to have that done again." I was looking. See what I can get here. Can you see them? First of all, I need to get the stuff out. If you can put some moisture in the wood on this guitar. It hasn't been shined up in a long time. I gotta get some of that good stuff. Amish furniture polishing. It's dried out a little bit. Get this thing looking real sharp. I'm doing it right now. So I'll show it here. And then once I shine it all up and I get it going, I'll show it in another tape. If you're a fan of the woodshop videos I'm making, what am I calling myself? Uncle Grandpa. The reason why I'm Uncle Grandpa is because I don't have any grandchildren. But I have a lot of great nephews, nieces, and stuff. And I'm the eldest in our clan now. Everybody else has died. I'm the oldest, 73. I'm in shape enough to hopefully make it longer. Hopefully. I'm in a wheelchair now. I hope it's just temporary until I get my back fixed. And if I get that nerve libation done, I can walk around again and lose the weight I had. I gained some weight, but then today I lost. I was 242 yesterday, and today I'm 235, and a week or two ago I was 228.8. So I'm gaining weight the more I'm confined in a wheelchair. I can't get up and walk around. I gotta use the wheelchair. And I find out the more I'm not moving around, the more I'm gaining weight. So I gotta watch what I'm eating. So I don't eat big meals. I just eat a little bit here, a little bit there. Today I had a can of herring or something like that. I like that stuff. I put mustard on it, get a piece of bread and stuff. I just use that as my meal. And I'm satisfied. Juices, I get juices. I drink a lot of juices they're fortified juices. Like 15 different types of fruits in one juice. That's what I buy. And it's expensive, but it gives me what I need. I feel good when I eat it, drink it. I go on a fast and just go liquid. And I can fast. I just go liquid. Get everything I need. And I got buckets around here, 55. 55. So, I've got several buckets of 5-gallon buckets around here that have minerals and vitamins and things that I pursued on the internet. Got them here and use them for a while. And then so now I'm a binger. I binge. I start saying, I said to myself, well, I don't feel quite right here. Some lacking in my system. So I do take a daily vitamin and stuff like that. But there's all these nutrients and everything that's all over the world. I mean, they come out of all kinds of things, trees and bushes and everything else. That the human body, if it had it, can utilize it and it would be nourishing and stuff. So I buy all that stuff. I got quite a bit of money invested in it, but whenever I sit down and I binge, probably once or twice a month, I take a whole bunch of different vitamins here and there and stuff and just replenish, get everything in there and do them over a couple of days' time. I don't do it all at the same day. God, I got 50 different types of vitamins I've taken with all kinds of different things from all over the world. I have a theory. If I can get my back fixed up and I can walk a little bit, I think I can start jogging again at 73. Because my heart, I've got a strong, good heart. So, and I'm relying on God. God's in charge, and I have nothing to worry about. I'm going right into His arms. I hope to God I'm going right into His arms. Thank you, Jesus. It was a road, man. I ride with Jesus. We're riding. And it's not an easy ride either. It's Rough Rider. But Jesus isn't a wuss. He's the real thing. He'll break your leg if you go astray. You love Him, and He sees you going astray, and you won't listen to Him. He'll break your leg. I've seen Him do it. He did it to me. Broke my arm. Compound fracture right in half when I was going astray. 9, 10 years old. Being molested by people a lot older than me. Put it that way. Being told about all the world and everything that's going on, and seeing these people, they were vicious, mean people, paying people to get in a fight with a girl, get in a fight with another girl, pay a girl to get in a fight with another girl at the park or something, just start a fight with her and rip her clothes off her so they can sit there. Those type of people. They're out there. I saw it. What the heck did they do to me? As they came back years later, they knew about my molestation. I was 9 years old, and I got involved in a party. I was playing guitar and singing and all that stuff and everything. Oh, we remember you. What's his name used to tell us about you. He used to pay me money so he could play with himself. And I just be there watching. He was breaking me in, I guess. Whatever. And he gave me 8 quarters. Just sit there and watch him do his thing. Whatever. And he wanted me to pull down my pants. I don't want to do anything like that. I just, Jeepers. I didn't even have pubic hair yet. I'd be molested. Oh, it takes a toll on you. It's a lot to live down. It's your fault. You let it happen. You didn't tell nobody. But you wanted those 8 quarters to buy your friends popsicles and candy bars and stuff. Where'd you get the money? Oh, I'm working for it. I'm moving boxes and stuff like that. Oh, that's pretty nice. If it hadn't for his mother coming and catching him, then he probably would have done some real damage to me later on in life. He could have. Because I was stupider than Dickens. I couldn't believe that I was so stupid when I was young like that. But God let me escape. Another try. Nice try. Nice try. But no cigar. For me. No cigar. No cigar. I try to put a little joke in there to make it humorous because it hurts so much to think about it. And all the things you're exposed to when you're kicked out of the house. I got kicked outside the house one night. I had to stand down to the hotel. There was a big hotel that's been torn down by now. The Hilton Hotel or what? I don't know what name it is. Lincoln. No, not the Lincoln. It was down on where the railroad tracks, where they have that restaurant and they have that place down in Binghamton. There was a big hotel there. Something hotel. I mean, he's had dances there and all that stuff. When I got kicked out of the house, the only place to go that was warm was to stand in their doorway at nighttime. You know, if I got kicked out of there, I could go up to the bus station and crawl underneath the toilets because they were a dime to get in. You couldn't get in unless you had a dime. I didn't have a third point. I didn't have nothing. I'd crawl underneath them. Sit there in the warmth. Be all by myself. And what the heck is life? What is going on here? I gotta go through all this crap. A young, stupid kid don't know how to make a buck. Beat my ass with beat. All the while I was in my house under an MB. He was vicious. He whipped me till I couldn't even walk. My brother, too. I remember we were sitting in a tub one night, nursing our wounds because they were embarrassed because they whipped us so bad. They didn't want the school to see all the bruises and everything on us, and they stuck us in a tub of ice cold water. And my brother's sitting there, and he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, he says, you know something? I feel good right now. All that hurt and everything, those wounds, they're warm and they feel good. And I looked at him. And that's the way he was brought up. He was brought up abused by my father on him beating the daylights out of him. That's why he was so tough. You couldn't beat him up because he was used to it. He fought Tony Licata. Tony Licata, North American champion, busted his nose in the 4th round, and he fought him 6 more rounds to a split decision in Licata's hometown. To a split decision. With a broken nose. Evers. I had my nose busted by a Diamond Belt champion in California once. I jumped out of the ring, pulled my gloves off my hands, went over to the mirror and looked in the mirror, and my nose was like this. On my face, but flat. Looked like a question mark. What am I doing to myself? I thought when that happened. Now, I've had my times where I hit too hard, probably sometimes. I had guys who couldn't even walk out of the ring after I got done with them. But I got it back. When I least expected it, I got it back. And I wouldn't fight you if you didn't have a title. I wasn't going to be fighting these guys out of the bar and wailing on them, knock them first round out. And, oh, that Nixon, he's a tough son of a gun. Oh, my God, did you see him hit that guy? I didn't. I was in there fighting and boxing, learning how to box and enjoying it and moving around and bobbing and weaving and jabbing and getting points and enjoying the sport. I'm not a killer. I'm not like Tyson coming out in the first round and just wailing on everybody. And he wasn't Mike Tyson when he fought Buster. That wasn't Mike Tyson. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. I watched the guy fight. I know when he was buffed and ready to go. He wasn't ready to go now. He was ready to go 10 rounds. He just wanted to box. He didn't fight to knock the guy out in the first round. He could have done that easy with Buster. He was a mediocre fighter, in my opinion. I've been around a long time. I mean, he was good. They had him rated 4 or something like that. but he wasn't at any caliber of these muscle-bound monsters that Tyson put on their backs in less than a minute and a half. The first round. That wasn't Mike Tyson in there fighting for that title with Douglas. No way. I don't know what happened after that because I didn't really follow boxing much after I gave it up, became a teacher, and went in my own way. I had a boxing program. I won a United Fund Award in boys clubs in America. I had the first national AAU tournament with 17 junior Olympic champions. That was I won that United Fund Award, and the guy who was in charge of the boys clubs in Binghamton at the time went to Florida, and he had 4 clubs down there. And he says, come on down, I'll give you one of them. I got down there, and he's checking out my education. You don't have an education? You don't have a college degree? You did all that back? You didn't have a college degree? He didn't know I did it without having a degree. I won the United Fund Award with an AAU program with 60 different bouts, 16, 17 junior Olympic champions. Nate Cortez, he gave everybody a pizza. That was good publicity for him back then. He was also the one that was involved with me, taking me to the Holy Spirit Retreat House up in Connecticut. Roy Leger or somebody like that. I never met the guy, but they were the guy that he was preaching to, and then there was this Holy Spirit Retreat House, and this guy put his hands on me, and he prayed over me, and he says, "You're going to be a scholar." And I looked at him. I didn't know. I didn't know I was a high school dropout. How the heck am I going to be a scholar? I'm a dropout out of high school. Oh, I went on. These guys are nuts. These guys are out there. I'm going to be a scholar. I catch myself in Florida on a GI Bill. I'm a veteran, honorably discharged veteran. And I'm qualified for schooling. Went in there and I checked it out, and he says, "Well, you don't have a degree. Yeah, you don't have a high school diploma." He says, "Well, we got a program here." He says, 20 hours, and you have to take these S courses. They're not college credit courses. They're S courses. Your math and your English and your all that. A little earth science in there. Different things to fulfill the requirements. But it was mainly to get a GED degree. And if you stayed in the school for 20 hours, 20 college credit hours, with a 2.0 or above average, they qualified you with an AA, with a high school equivalency degree. High school equivalency certificate, diploma, whatever it is. Then they let you go on in your AA degree, and I held above average schooling. I was on the dean's list too a couple times. So that was before I got my AA degree. I was on the dean's list. So I got my AA degree, 75. And then I was at St. Leo College for a year and a half studying theology, philosophy, education, religious education, that whole theology, philosophy background, where all the professors are professed atheists. I did a Catholic college. I'm going to Catholic college. And the professors don't believe in God. They're atheists. They come right out and tell you that. "Oh, I'm teaching a course. I'm qualified, blah, 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 blah." They're going to give us all the facts. There won't be no spiritual zest to my teaching. I don't believe in God. And he actually had kids my age, and that was only a year or two difference between all the kids that I was in school with. I was older because I was married. I was like 23, 24, 25 when I got my AA degree, and I was married. And I was faithful. So I got that. And once there's a story. And if somebody wants to give a lot of money to my donation, I'm going to tell the story. I'm going to tell the story of what happened at St. Leo College. Catholic labeled college, parochial label. And now it's a university. The state's taking it over and everything. That's what it was back then, but nobody knew it. It was a parochial label on a public college. Had no affiliation with St. Leo Abbey at all. Just the atmosphere. Walking through and being with the monks and being with the brothers, being under the influences of the clergy and all that. There was a lot of people there that were religious. They went to the school because it was a Catholic. They thought it was Catholic college. They got there and boom, the door was sprung. And I got some stories. Oh, I'll knock the socks off everybody in the United States. They hear my stories. But they're going to have to pay for them. I'm not going to give them away. I want my fund down in Kenya well funded before I let that information loose. Because I'm going to keep it positive, though. I'm going to tell you the positive about it. I'm not going to tell you about the negative. The devil had done enough in that situation. I'm just going to tell you what happened positively and how I got out of it without even understanding. It went right over my head. Oh, you wouldn't believe what I went through. Lots of things I'm just stupid to. Sometimes I think, oh God, why am I so stupid? Why can't I do things with some intelligence? I say to myself, and I got 50 things around here I gotta finish, I'm into everything. I got every type of background you can think about as far as residential or remodeling or building or anything. I got wood fence out in back that I put there 40 years ago, made out of red oak. I paid $140 for it. 50 feet long, 6 inches wide. There's 100 boards out there. I took the boards off. I bought myself a Delta planer, and I planed the boards. Not all of them. I planed some of them that I was using. Everything. You can't buy boards the way these boards came out. You can't buy them. They're antique-looking oak, red oak. Oh, they're beautiful. You take and put them through the planer and everything. They come out. You got all the edges all planed up. Glue them together and get a nice wide piece. Make whatever you want, really. I got some time with that if I can get my back. I'm looking for a wheelchair that you can stand up in so you can work. That's how bad my back is. But I think it's only temporary. I think God is just making it temporary. He says, simmer down, Bill. I want you to write some songs, and I want you to take it easy. Pray, fast, and love, forgive. That's what he wants me to do. Love and forgive. Boy, I'm thinking about all the things that were done to me, and I have to forgive everybody because I want to be forgiven. The least you do to the least of these, the most you do for the least of these, you've done to me. No matter what they do with what you give them to try to help them out. I tiger. I put a miraculous medal around his neck, my old miraculous medal. I put around his neck. He asked me to. I says, hey, he's begging out in front of the church, little guy. He says, put it around my head, would you please? I said, I got a miraculous medal. It's my old one here. Do you want it? I was thinking maybe God's going to bless him and maybe help him out or give him a direction or something like that. He says, he bends his head. He says, would you put it over my head, please? I put it over his head. I walked away feeling pretty good. I says, man, he accepted it. Oh, that's going to be nice. Bless him, mother, go to work on it. Something happened, I went here and there, and there was only mass there on Mondays and Fridays or something like that. And so the next week I came back, and he was out there asking for money and all that stuff. And I looked at him, I looked at his thing, and I says, where's your medal? Oh, when it broke, I had to throw it away. I says, what? You threw it away? Yeah. And I thought to myself, he's lying to me. I know what he did because I gave him my chain. I didn't give him a cheap gift. That was $100 chain. Gold, silver, pure silver. With the miraculous medal on it. The miraculous medal, the wear was being worn and the brass was coming through and it was getting old and all that. It was kind of like gold looking. So I said, I'm going to go get a gold one. So that's what I wear now. My miraculous medal is the gold miraculous medal. I wear that. I wear it as my protection against COVID. I never got any shots. My wife did. She went out and got all the shots and everything. I got sick after she got the shots. And I just put my faith in the Holy Mother of God. She's the Queen of Heaven and Earth. You wear that medal, I'll protect you. There's 12 promises that go along with wearing the medal if you wear it. And I've passed out thousands of them. And if I told you some of the stories about what happened when I passed some of them out, they're real noteworthy, that's for sure. But look at me. Do you think I can give a lecture? Am I qualified to give a lecture to somebody, some organization, where they sit for 3.5 hours and listen to me? I don't think so. I've heard some really good speakers, man. And I wouldn't sit for 3.5 hours to listen to them. So, maybe you get a little here and a little there, you come back and you turn on, well, let's give them another 20 minutes. Oh, let's give them another half an hour. What am I saying? I'm an amateur. I'm just trying to do my best, serving God and my country. Saints are sinners that keep on trying. So pick yourself off the mat because you're not going to beat Satan. Jesus is going to beat Satan. Just keep on trying and you'll see what I'm talking about.